France and the Second World War, a nation's journey through turmoil and renewal. In the years following the Great War, France emerged victorious yet deeply scarred. The memory of the First World War loomed heavily over the French consciousness, etched into its towns, fields, and the hearts of its people. The interwar period was marked by both relief and unease, the relief of having repelled the German Empire, and the unease of knowing that Germany, humiliated by the Treaty of Versailles, might one day seek revenge. France invested heavily in defensive preparations, the most famous of which was the Maginot Line, a formidable chain of fortifications along the Franco-German border. Yet, behind the strength of concrete and steel lay political instability, economic depression, and deep societal divisions. As the 1930s unfolded, the shadow of fascism spread across Europe. Hitler's rise in Germany was watched with growing alarm in Paris, yet the horrors of 1914 to 1918 made France cautious, reluctant to be drawn into another cataclysm. Political leadership oscillated between calls for firmness and the hope that diplomacy might avert disaster. The alliances with Britain and smaller European nations offered some comfort, but the growing aggressions of Germany, the remilitarization of the Rhineland in 1936, the Anschluss with Austria, and the dismantling of Czechoslovakia, revealed the fragility of peace. In September 1939, when Germany invaded Poland, France honored its commitment to the Polish people and declared war alongside Britain. Yet the months that followed, known as the phony war, le drôle de guerre, were characterized by an eerie stillness on the Western Front. Life in France continued almost as usual, though the uncertainty was palpable. Then, in May 1940, the German Blitzkrieg struck with devastating speed. The Wehrmacht bypassed much of the Maginot Line, sweeping through Belgium and the Ardennes, a region the French command had deemed too difficult for a large-scale offensive. The collapse was swift and shocking. Within weeks, the French army, one of the largest in Europe, was overwhelmed. Paris fell on the 14th of June 1940. Faced with disaster, the French government sought an armistice. The nation was split in two, the German-occupied north and west, and the so-called Free Zone in the south, governed from Vichy under Marshal Philippe Pétain. The Vichy regime collaborated with the occupiers, introducing policies that often mirrored German demands, including the persecution of Jews and political dissidents. Yet not all of France bowed to occupation. From London, General Charles de Gaulle broadcast his famous appeal of the 18th of June, urging the French to continue the fight. Across France, resistance networks began to form, at first small and scattered, but gradually united in acts of sabotage, intelligence gathering, and armed rebellion. These resistants, drawn from all walks of life, risked everything to defy the occupiers, working with the Allies to prepare for liberation. In June 1944, the liberation began in earnest. The Normandy landings brought British, American, Canadian, and Free French forces back to the soil of France. Fighting was fierce and costly. Towns were shattered, civilians killed, but the tide was turning. Paris rose in rebellion in August, and Free French forces entered the capital to rapturous crowds. By September, most of France was free, though fighting would continue in Alsace-Lorraine and along the German border into 1945. The war's end was a moment of both triumph and reckoning. France had emerged from occupation, but at great cost. Its cities damaged, its economy in ruins, its population traumatized. The collaboration of the Vichy regime left deep wounds, as did the memory of deportations and massacres. Yet there was also pride in the courage of the resistance and the restoration of France as one of the victorious Allied powers. In the post-war years, France sought renewal. Political life was rebuilt, the Fourth Republic established, and the economy gradually restored with the help of the Marshall Plan. The memory of occupation shaped a new determination never to be so vulnerable again, leading to closer ties with European neighbors and a role in shaping the nascent European community. The scars of the war never truly faded, but neither did the resilience and spirit that had carried the French through one of the darkest chapters in their history.